on ARSN Television, Abuja, Nigeria. I am Khadija Uluwatoyin. Today on the program, we shall be taking a look at the Agric research and its economic advantage. Yes, this simply means of what benefits is the research institutes and research work of importance to the Nigerian's economy. What do we get to gain after investing in the research aspect of agriculture? And to discuss with this with me in the studio is Mr. Agric. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So we shall be quickly taking a 2-minute video to tell you a little about the correlation between agric research and economic advantage. Stay tuned. Agricultural productivity in Nigeria continues to face so many challenges in the quest to make basic food items available and arrest galloping inflation. This necessitates the need for our farmers and ordinary households to utilize research efforts in maximizing farm produce and food productivity. However, application of agricultural researches has largely been unavailable for farmers, and results of research findings available are mostly not utilized by farmers for several reasons. The annual rates of return on research expenditure are in order of about 50%. Research oriented to science is profitable when associated with technological research. Decentralization, as in the system of state agricultural experiment stations and substations, has allowed close association of research orientation to science with other oriented to technology and to farming. The advantages also include institutional strengthening, capacity building, economic stability, and poverty reduction. The expected high rate of return shows that investment in public research in agriculture is low. This is, at least, partially because the research benefits spill over to other regions and to consumers, reducing the incentives for local support. Welcome back. It's still Agric Economy on ARSN Television, and we are going to be taking a look at agric research and its economic advantage. First, research. What would you say research? What do we mean?
When we say research, we are looking at looking critically at ways and means of how we have been doing things and how we can do it better, and how we can improve on what we have started doing, and the best ways and the best practices that will make it easier for us to attain a better output. And in all over the world nowadays, research is very, very important, because it is through research that we get what we actually need to be able to meet the needs of the growing world and the ever-evolving technological advancement that is needed for sustenance in the world. And looking at research, we know that research helps to increase productivity. Looking at agriculture, agriculture cannot really evolve in Nigeria without research, because research helps to improve the varieties that we already have, improve the breeds. It also helps to increase the level of productivity that we have. So it is very essential that we go into research to increase productivity. For example, Nigeria is projected to be about 250 million by 2030. And with the level of agricultural practice that we are undergoing now, it might not be able to meet up with that demands if there are no adequate research to be able to increase variety, to increase productivity, to be able to meet up with a growing population. Also, it's another important thing is that research helps also to improve sustainable practices. When we say sustainable practices, it helps us to look at how we can be able to continue to enjoy the benefits that we have in the environment. It is the advent of research that brought about integrated farming that can make a small hectare of land to produce as if it is a whole 50 or 100 hectares, because of integrated farming practices that is consigned to limited space but improved varieties and improved production, whereby helping the environment and also increasing productivity. When we talk about research also helps in disease control and pest control. If not for research, there are some pests that are seasonal that used to come and destroy crops that leads to economic losses to farmers. But with the advent of research, some of these pests have been adequately been controlled, and also we have seen that some of the methods that were being used before that can lead to food poisoning, through research it has also helped to reduce such advent. We know when we talk of preservation, it is research that has helped in preservation to the extent that it does not lead to loss of life when time of consumption comes. So research is also very important when we talk about pest control and the diseases in our crops and even in animals. And also when you look at the present climate change that we're experiencing all over the world, without research, we will not be able to easily adapt on the best farming practice to use at every point in time. If you look at global warming presently, the way the sun is descending on the earth and the way flooding comes, without research, we will not be able to know the appropriate farming practices to use to be able to combat this global warming. And when we talk also about, there is with the present farming activities that we have all over the world, without research, we can have problems when it comes to the soil health and the fertility of the soil. So research helps us to look at, the old farming practices of shifting cultivation, leaving the soil for a while and then moving to others. But with research, we have been able to have soil fertility and soil health to the extent that with adequate research, we can continue to farm on a particular soil for a longer period of time than it used to be before, because of adequate preparation and also chemicals and fertilizers that have been used to improve the soil. So with some of this improvement that research has brought to bear, it has also helped in increasing the economic activities when it comes to agriculture, and it has also helped in food sustainability. Another important thing that I want us to note is that research has helped a great deal in improving food quality, because over time, through research, we have been able to see species of crops being improved and even varieties being matched together to produce a better product. So it is through research that we have been able to see better species of different crops and better modification of crops to the extent that we are now seeing higher yields, we are seeing improved quality, and we are seeing sustainability of these processes. So research, the importance of research in agriculture cannot be overemphasized, and it's not something that we can wish away. And if not for research, even policymakers would not be able to engage in policy formulations on what to do at every point in time. So it is based on research input that will make the Ministry of Agriculture, for example, to be able to know which area effort is supposed to be geared towards and which area that needs improvement. So looking at the importance of research, that is why government must formulate policies alongside research agencies in agriculture that we have in the country, to be able to have a synergy, to be able to move forward the agricultural policies of government and to be able to achieve results. And without research, in the past 5 years, Nigeria would not have attained the level of productivity in agriculture that we have presently.
Okay, yes, we know that there's no how we talk research that would not touch on government.
Yes.
Yes, the Nigerian government, in Nigeria, we have the Agricultural Research Council,
Yes.
which is the head of research institutes that we have in Nigeria. Do you think that we're tapping enough into, our research system?
As it is, we could do better than what we are doing presently. Because one other importance of research is global collaboration. We discovered that Nigerian Institute for Agric Research, for example, has the capacity to collaborate with other global research agencies all over the world and be able to bring that experience to bear. And what we see is that we have other countries that are doing so well in agricultural research and farming practices that Nigeria could also tap from. And when our flagship research agency is well positioned, it will be able to help to enhance government policies. So the synergy so far has not produced up to 100% or 80% of what we would have expected, because perhaps the government is not bringing the research agencies to task or putting them at the forefront of policy formulations as regards agricultural policies that is being brought forth for the government. For example, the Bola Tinubu government presently wants to increase farm input, go into agric revolution, get enough hectares of land and all those stuff to be able to boost agricultural practice in Nigeria. But I've not seen any major research person in the committees to be able to implement this. These are part of the things that can help to be able to foster the kind of relationship between the research agency and government policymakers. Because based on research information, they can be able to feed the government on ways of being able to follow up with these policies and be able to achieve better results than putting them or relegating them to the background.
Okay, yes, we heard that there's need for research institutes to be at the front burner of policy making as regards agriculture in Nigeria, in ensuring that there's synergy between these policymakers and the realities of what researchers are going through. With that, we'll take a quick break. When we return, the program continues. Stay tuned. Welcome back. It's still Agric Economy, and we have been talking about research, and its economic correlation. We have been talking to our guest, Mr. Gabriel Dakolo, who has taken us through the advantages and benefits of our research on the Nigerian economy. He has talked about policymakers collaborating with researchers in the body of the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, ensuring that each policies, when being done, should carry, let me say, weight in the sense that researchers know where the do's and don'ts of some of most of the crops are, and then so when policies are being made, there's relevant stakeholders will have to look into it and ensure that they're doing or putting up the right policy. Still on our topic, sir. What is the economic importance of research, or so to say, if we have our research institutes in place, what does the nation stand to benefit?
Yes, the nation stands to benefit a lot when we have very vibrant research institutes in a country. And when we talk about agriculture in particular, which is the mainstay, or which is also the mainstay of Nigeria's economy, looking at the employment generation capacity, and the food sustainability capacity of agriculture, then we know that it's economically important for us to have very vibrant and well-funded research institutes to be able to meet up with the ever-changing challenges in the agricultural environment. So research institutes are very, very important to the growth and the sustainability of agriculture in Nigeria and the whole of all over the world. And that is why you see a country like Israel, for example, can be able to grow even crops on the rock. They grow crops on mountainous areas. Why? Because of improved research inputs into agricultural practices. You discover that in Nigeria, so many lands are being left fallow because we do not have the adequate technical know-how to be able to enjoy those opportunities that those land bring. You see mountainous areas in Nigeria being left to lie fallow because we do not have adequate research information to know the kind of crops that will be able to survive and be able to benefit those areas. So some of the reasons why we have to have capable research institutions in Nigeria is to be able to help us to be able to take advantage of the land mass that we have, to be able to take advantage of improved farming practices, and also to be able to take advantage of opportunity to encourage more people to go into farming. You know, the psyche of an average Nigerian is that farming or agriculture is very hard. But when we have adequate research in place that can actually tell us that with minimal manual effort, with the advent of machines and mechanization, that a single person can be able to man an hectare of farm and be able to also produce as much as possible. So we need that kind of orientation that can come from research institutes, and new developments as they come are supposed to come up so that it can benefit those that are already in the agricultural system and those that are intending to come in. So without research institute, agriculture cannot evolve in Nigeria. Looking at our population, looking at the land mass that we have, and looking at the number of opportunities that we can use for export in the process. And that is why when we juxtapose the importance of agriculture to our economy and the importance of research institute to agriculture, you see that they correlate, and each of them cannot do without the other. And that is why government must make sure that our research institutes are adequately funded, and they are also included in policy formulations to be able to carry out government objectives to meet the yearnings and the needs of the people.
Okay, we want to talk about research. We know that because of our psyche in this part of the world, most research, crops or seedlings still suffer setbacks.
Yeah.
In the sense that it becomes so very hard for farmers to get this into the market. I know when we start having improved seedling for mango,
Yeah.
where you get the very big
Variety.
varieties of mango, and then you go to the market and then you see the person selling the normal one that we use stone and pick on, that will take several years to grow,
Yeah.
is the one that everybody still wants to go for. In the area of acceptability, what's your word for, word for research institute one, and then word for farmers?
The most important aspect of the work of research institute in Nigeria is collaboration, because it's one thing to have breakthroughs in research in a particular area or a particular crop or species. It's another to be able to effectively communicate those importance to the stakeholders. The stakeholders in this regard are government agencies that are involved in agriculture, the farming population, the farming public, and also the consuming public. So these three are critical stakeholders that the research institute must be able to target to be able to disseminate information as much as possible and collaborate with them. Just like you said, if there is a new development, for example, in mango, that is variety can come that will be far bigger than the natural one that we used to know. There should be adequate information sharing. There should be collaboration with farmers to be able to know the importance of growing such type, and also to let them know the health benefits, because the fear most time is that this one that we have not seen before, maybe it could cause health challenges. You should let them allay their fears as regards health benefits, and also engage government policymakers to be able to put adequate policies in place to be able to channel this new research findings to mass production, which is very, very important. What I see that we are lacking in Nigeria is that, I give it to our research institute, especially in agriculture. They are doing so much, but they are not communicating as much as they are doing. And when the communication does not reach the marketplace, which is the final endpoint user, then we have a challenge in embracing the products of these researches. So that's a major challenge.
Okay, so quickly, Nigerians, a word for Nigerians on acceptability, because we know that most times when there's a new research work that's
Yeah.
skilled, we on ARSN TV, we come out, we air it, we tell people this is it, that is that, but then you know mindset is very strong.
Yes.
It's not easy to break even with it. What's your word for farmers?
For farmers, farmers should be the chief marketers of new products that come as a regards of researches. Farmers as well are supposed to be the first users of these products, because what you are marketing, you must be able to experience it. What you are selling to people, if it's edible, you must be able to first eat it. Let them see it in you that you are enjoying it before you sell it out. So farmers play a critical role in not only getting these products to the market, but ensuring the marketability of it. Another aspect that we should look at is the margin of profit between selling these products and also getting people to like it. For example, if the natural mango is being sold for 2 kobo or 2 naira in the marketplace, and you have a variety that is bigger, and you say, okay, we will also sell this one for 2 kobo, the law of benefit, comparative advantage, will make people to want to try them, because they will say, oh, it's the same price, why don't we give it a try? But when you have a situation whereby, because the farmer has seen improved seedlings and he has used an improved variety, say this one is bigger, I must sell it for 10 naira, and the old one they will sell for 2 naira, the people will stick to the old ones. So you must make it competitive enough for people to want to prefer it to the ones that they are used to, by making adequate pricing decisions and not over profiteer when it comes to these new products in the market. So the farmers need to do that. Okay, you talked about agri research councils having enough allocation for them to run, with less than 2% of three allocated to the agric sector. Yeah. Do you think this year, 2024, the research institute will be able to do more? The thing is, to whom much is given, much is expected. And if you have not given so much, then you do not expect so much. Part of the research work, part of the things that God's funding, when it God's funding to research institutes, is collaboration with other research agencies all over the world. And also, when you talk about traveling, talk about experimentation and research, these are the things that actually got a large part of the funding that goes to research institutes. So when the funding is not adequate, then these researchers will not be able to collaborate adequately, will not be able to go to seminars in other countries, will not be able to cross-fertilize ideas. There is so much you can do online, but also physical cross-fertilization of ideas with improved seedlings, improved variety, and how it works also is very important. So you see that they are confined to their own space and they will not be able to do so much. So most of the time, if there is no adequate funding, they always localize their researches, which is not good enough. Because when we talk of research, research is global. If it works out in another country, there's a possibility that it can work out in our country as well. But we should not just localize our researches. And that is what we are doing presently because of lack of funding.
Okay, yes, thank you for joining us for the program. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, that's it. Bye for now.